welcome to HRTV's Victory Lap with coverage of the All-Tech FEI World Equestrian Games at the Kentucky Horse Park here in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm Jill Byrne.
And I'm Gil Merrick with the Prevent Feeders International Equestrian Festival presented by HRTV.
And Gil, once again, we were fortunate enough to go out to the World Equestrian Games today and take a little poke around. The first thing I would say is, wow, the crowds. Huge crowds out there today on this Saturday. Could not have been more beautiful weather.
Really, I think our only challenge might be putting on enough sunblock to get through all of these days out at the horse park.
Shh, we don't want any rain.
That's right, don't jinx it.
And you know, yesterday's show, we had a great time speaking with Dan Wall with the National Reining Horse Association, and one of the things he brought up a lot was how just trying to get reining out there into mainstream. It's always been very popular, obviously here in America, but getting it out into the mainstream, and we got a chance to kind of take a look at that today out there.
Well, I'll say they really brought the sport to the people. They have a great reining horse exhibition with really well-known celebrity reiners, and then also opportunities for people who are attending the horse park to get on a reining horse and feel what the cues are like and get a sense of what the sport's all about.
Well, we got a chance to kind of take a little bit of look at that, so let's take a look and listen to a reining horse exhibition.
So I'm going to open up that left leg, and I'm going to take my hand just a couple inches to the left of its neck, and he instantly got off that neck rein, and that's exactly what you want to do. And as I'm going around, you can tell I'm just kind of sitting here. I'm not having to work very hard. He's on a loose rein. If I want to add a little bit more speed, I can cluck to him or use a little bit more leg. Close. And whenever I want to stop, all I need to do is just put my hand down and say whoa to him. Do the same thing to the right. I want to open up that right leg and wait a couple seconds. And it's real important to wait so that horse has time to adjust and get ready. I'm going to open up that right leg, lay that neck rein to the right. He wanted to go forward a little bit, so I just bring my hand back, and he's locked into that turn. And you notice again, those reins are just there flopping. He knows his job. He's happy to do it. He's going to stay there until I tell him, whoa. So you notice I needed to say whoa when I was explaining it to you guys, but you notice as soon as I said it, he did it. And that's another neat thing about reining horses is they are very in tune to what we tell them to do.
It just always amazes me how these horses move without the rider seemingly asking them to move at all.
Yeah, it's a really amazing demonstration. I understand some of the horses they've brought here have world championship titles under their belts, and that this is what they're doing for the next part of their career, and looks like a lot of fun out there.
I know, I kind of got a kick out of watching that. Oh, my wheels are turning a little bit here, Gil.
Thinking about a return visit.
Me too. We'll get back to that, but right now a lot happening here at the International Equestrian Festival, and we better go check in with Doug, who's out here on the floor.
Well, thank you guys. We're out here once again on the show floor at the International Equestrian Festival in downtown Lexington, and we've run into Jim Hill. Jim, good to see you, sir.
Very nice to see you, Doug. Thank you for coming by.
Oh, we're delighted, and of course our eye was caught by the gorgeous artistry you have in these boots. Just really unique items and handmade. I mean, how rare is that in this world?
It's pretty rare, really. There's very few handmade boot companies left. We are a small custom company, and we measure your feet, fit you, and build the boot to your foot. And we do a very good job of fitting people.
Well, you know, we talked to Jim Bates, general manager at HRTV, who stopped by the booth and picked up a pair as well. And he said that, I mean, it really is transforming when you have a pair of boots custom made for you. I mean, you know, we're so used to buying off the rack in this day and age. But we've seen you measure some customers' feet here. Tell us a little bit about the process you take them through in selecting the right boot for them.
Well, what we try and do is we have them wear socks that they would wear with their boots. We trace their foot very carefully, and then we measure, and there are various parameters that we measure, different parts of the foot. And then we take that information and we translate that into what we think should fit them, and we have a group of fitter boots here. And we put them in the fitter boots, see how they feel. I actually handle their foot after they're in the boot and make some notes. And from all that information and what they tell us about how the boot fits, we end up being able to build a very comfortable boot for them.
Custom made just for them,
Just for them.
and the difference, we're told, is dramatic. I may just have to try this for myself. It sounds really good.
I'm glad to hear that, Doug. That's really great. And I hope all these folks from Lexington will come down and visit us and see what we're doing. It's a wonderful show down here. There's all kinds of great exhibits.
Is it safe to say that the process that you go through can basically be back 1850s, 1860s? This is the way they did it when they measured a man for his boots, right?
Exactly. It's just really not done very much in this country. There are a number of boot makers in the United States, mostly concentrated in Texas and Oklahoma, who do custom boots, but they don't do it quite like we do it. I mean, you know, I'm hands-on with the running of the company and measuring the people and fitting the people, and then I have 14 boot makers that are most of them have been with me for 16 years, and they are very talented men, and they take a lot of pride in building what we design.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jim Hill, from Racing History of Seattle Slew to handmade, custom-made boots right here. You can be fitted for a pair yourself at the International Equestrian Festival. Invite you to come down and check it out. We're going to send things to break, but HRTV's Victory Lap will continue right after this. HRTV's Victory Lap is brought to you by Prevent Feeders.
Welcome back to HRTV's Victory Lap. Well, today is the second phase of the three-day event competition out at the horse park, the cross-country phase.
And the cross-country, this is what I think brought all the crowd out there today. And we were lucky enough to be able to be out there. And actually, Gil got a chance to really get up close with these horses on the cross-country course. Let's go check in and take a look at this beautiful cross-country event.
The cross-country phase of a three-day event is by far the most challenging piece of the competition. I'm standing here by the first fence on the course. It's 4 miles long and has 27 obstacles. This is the true test of the horse's stamina, their endurance, the conditioning leading up to these events. The riders have been conditioning their horses for months. You're going to see that most of the horses who compete are thoroughbreds. They're ideally suited to this kind of test of strength and speed and stamina. You're going to see water jumps, jumps where the horses have to negotiate obstacles they wouldn't see in a stadium jumping arena. Things like flat tables and barrels and things that will challenge the horse's agility getting set up to go over the fence. And when you see the scope and the width of these jumps, it's truly mind-boggling. The Kentucky Horse Park is home each year to the Rolex Kentucky three-day event, a 4-star international competition where American riders have certainly seen their share of success. Perhaps best known is Bruce Davidson, immortalized in front of the Rolex Stadium here riding Eagle Lion, won multiple World Championships right here at the horse park. This competition is being represented by his son, Bruce Davidson Jr., also known as Buck Davidson. He's just started off on the course, and we're getting ready to see how he finishes today's course.
Those horses may have gone 4 miles, Gil, but I guarantee you we did 10 miles out there today following those horses around the course.
As a minimum. And what a great crowd out there today. I talked to some of the officials. They estimate there are upwards of 70,000 people at the horse park today, just to show you how popular the event is. And as we know, people have come from all over the world to attend this event and have an opportunity for the first time maybe to get to know Lexington, Kentucky. So we're pleased to have with us today Lexington's mayor, Jim Newberry. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day to join us.
It's my pleasure. Glad to be here with you.
Mayor Newberry, I know whenever there's a large international sports event, it's an opportunity for the host city to showcase itself to the world, to present its face forward to people who may not know the city. What kinds of activities are going underway now in Lexington?
We have an enormous number of activities underway in Lexington. Obviously, the events at the horse park are the primary focal point for everybody in the community. But as a result of the World Equestrian Games being here, we have a number of other events going on in the community that are tied with those. Foremost among them is the downtown festival we're having called Spotlight Lexington. It's an opportunity for us to put the spotlight on Lexington and to showcase a number of local artists and to give our visitors some sense of the culture and art scene in Lexington, as well as what they see at the horse park.
And as far as like Lexington, when you drive in, if you come in on 64, you see that big water tower. It says Lexington, horse capital of the world, and it really is. And this is just really an unprecedented event to have the World Equestrian Games the first time ever in the United States, and now right here in your hometown.
In my mind, and I think in the minds of a lot of other folks, it's a perfect fit. You know, Lexington has had a long-standing love affair with horses, and having the Kentucky Horse Park here in our community, we have unquestionably the very best venue in the whole world to host the World Equestrian Games. So even though it's a major inconvenience for our European friends to make the trip here, we appreciate their coming, and we hope we'll show them a great time, and I hope they'll come again.
You know, both of us have lived here.
That's
We've
right.
lived in Lexington before, and I think it's amazing what we thought, the transformation of this place, and what you all have done to make this, you know, a real international friendly place to come. It's always been a great place to visit, but with this, the magnitude of this event, how Lexington has really expanded.
Well, thanks. I'm very, very proud of the efforts that a lot of people in our community have made in order to prepare our city for our guests. And I hope the end result will be an environment that they find very much to their liking, and in an ideal world they'll come back to see us often in the future.
Well, I know those are in the plans for the horse park to continue to offer these international events, and I think it's going to have a big impact too on the average Lexingtonian who is not maybe involved directly with the horse industry, but is going to benefit from having much more of an international collection of people coming here on a regular basis.
Right, you know, some of the improvements that have been made at the horse park will enable the horse park to much more effectively serve not only the international equine community, but certainly the domestic international equestrian, the domestic equestrians, and that's been one of the beautiful benefits of having the World Equestrian Games here. As a result of their coming, we've been able to make a number of improvements in our infrastructure, like the indoor arena at the horse park, like the stadium at the horse park, that will enable the horse park, particularly in Lexington generally, to be a more appealing place for visitors in the equine industry in the future.
Well, it is absolutely without question that Lexington has shown itself very well throughout this entire experience here, and we're glad to have been a part of it, and certainly thank you for taking time out and joining us here on the set.
My pleasure.
And HRTV's Victory Lap from Lexington, Kentucky. We'll be right back after this.
Nothing says I love you like effective flea control. Show your dog you really care with Advantage.
Welcome back to HRTV's Victory Lap. And Gil, you know, the equine industry is huge, all encompassing. So many things go into it. You have your farm equipment, obviously you have the tack for the horses, and all the different breeds of horses take different types of tack, and a lot of other things involved in the equine industry. So it's quite a lot to deal with.
Yeah, and you know, it comes with its own lifestyle, with the fashions that people wear and the different kinds of jewelry that they'll pick, and we've seen some of it on this show, and that's one of the great things about this kind of exhibition, is you get to see not just the equipment but also the lifestyle. Someone who's here showing us her work is designer Pat Denke. Let's take a look and see what she has to show.
We raise horses and clothing. The clothing that I design is made in Texas by adult Texas women. And my daughter trains horses, and so we're kind of a two-woman show, you might say, down there. They're fun, they're for the dance floor, they're blingy, they're to be noticed. Even my fabrics are all bias cuts and kind of sway to the body, and the fabrics and the suedes and the furs all do the same thing.
She's had horses just growing up since she was, you know, probably a teenager in the 8th grade. She had a Palomino horse and just always loved it her whole life, and so I was very lucky to have a horse since before I could even walk.
The belt, we call it a belt. A lot of people call it a skirt, but I don't want you to wear it as a skirt. I want you to wear it over leggings or denim jeans, or the newest thing is what Tara has on, my daughter. It's called jeggings, which are jean leggings. And it just Velcros around the waist, so it goes over shorts, denim jeans, leggings, leotards, anything that's narrow, and then you just wrap it back around. Christina is wearing my reversible chic hipster, and this is one of my hottest items I've ever designed. Look at how cute the belt looks, and she has no trouble moving. So what we've done is splash acid on a cowhide. It eats the hair off, and then we overglaze it with zebra.
And we love horses that show a lot of spirit, and our clothing kind of shows that as well.
I think all women want to look tall, thin, and rich. You know, so if you use very good fabrics, it takes just as much time to make something out of a nice fabric as it does an inexpensive fabric. And so, you know, you want the rich silks, the furs, the, acid wash suedes, the really nice cow skins and deer skin and lamb skins is what we work with. And then you drape it in such a way that makes all of the clothes kind of fit close to the body, which makes the woman feel thin. And then the tall, I don't know, God gives you that, and we just kind of try to help it along, you know, by not using a lot of wide prints and plaids, I guess you might say.
Certainly a lot of beautiful clothing there. Not exactly day wear, really something you might not wear just, you know, to go out to the World Equestrian Games necessarily, but certainly some outfits for all the parties and events that take place afterwards.
Right. And Jill, I know you're going to be busy in the next couple of months, so I'm going to recommend you go over there and do some shopping.
Sounds like a good idea. There's a lot of shopping to be done here at the International Equestrian Festival. Lots of booths with just some great items, beautiful jewelry, you name it, they have it here.
Yeah, there's really something for everyone. You know, we talked earlier about how the whole international community has come to Lexington, Kentucky for these games. And we had a chance to catch up with someone, a show jumping rider from Austria named Christian Fries, who's come into Lexington 6 months ago to prepare himself for the games. Let's check in with Christian.
In our sport, like with the horses, I thought, okay, it's one-day opportunity, and it's probably a good plan to come there earlier, that the horse getting used to the climate and getting used to everything, and can check out the showground. And my girlfriend got an opportunity to study in UK, so everything worked out together. So we planned to come a little bit early. I think it's a little bit of difference for the horses to take the long trip and to do the quarantine. Actually, like the trip is not. I flew with my horse to Florida, so I was with him in the plane, and that was absolutely no problem, so the plane was really easy. But then you have actually the 2 days quarantine, and that's a little bit hard for the horses, because as they are used to walking all day and training all day, and that's good for their system and for their body. And with the quarantine you have the 2 days off, so they are just in a stall. And some horses are fine with that, but there are some horses that's a little bit of a problem, you know. Sure. And then, so a lot of people, especially show jumpers, decided to come a little bit earlier, that they have like a week or 10 days to get them back on track after the quarantine. In our sport, as you are two competitors actually, you have the horse and yourself. It's always depending on the day, you know. You can bring yourself in the right position and prepare yourself, but if the horse has a bad day and he's not too happy because it's raining or because it's too hot for him, then it's always hard as a rider to motivate him to do his best and give 100%. So that's what depends on. So you always have to go in the final and to do it right, but you always have your partner to support you, and if he's willing, then you're fine. If he has a bad day, then it's hard.
So it's a true partnership. You're codependent on one another to make this work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, obviously a dedication and also acclamation for the horse, and these two seem to be such a partnership.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do in the competition. We wish them the best of luck.
And HRTV's Victory Lap will be right back after this. Stay with us.
For flea control that works, give your beloved feline Advantage, the flea treatment that's the cat's meow.
Welcome back to HRTV's Victory Lap. Great to have you with us.
You know, we've talked about there is so much to do here at the International Equestrian Festival. Lots of things to see, things to do, and lucky for everybody watching on HRTV, our own Doug High has been able to go around and sort of get a feel for what's happening here. Yesterday, he got into some knife throwing, survived that. I am just dying to see what Doug's up to today. Doug?
Well, thank you, guys. We're out here on the International Equestrian Festival show floor, and we found a young lady here that truly puts the international in International Equestrian Festival. Elizabeth from Valiant Art Galleries, all the way from Mongolia. Amazing.
Do I am looking Mongolian? No, I am not. Normally people ask me very quickly, what part of the country or what you coming from? And I always answer, this is very difficult answer because I am born in Poland, I am Swedish citizen, I have American husband, and I am living in Mongolia, which is my 12th country.
And you came directly from Mongolia with this gorgeous artwork to the International Equestrian Festival.
That's correct. Not exactly directly, because that took me from Milano to Paris, from Paris to Dublin, from Dublin to Kentucky, and that is only the logistic behind it.
A lot of logistics to get all of this beautiful artwork here. Now, Elizabeth, tell us a little bit about what we're going to see on the screen. You have, what, 60-some paintings here from a 2,000-plus collection?
Exactly. I am my husband and I, we are the owners probably of the biggest art collection in Mongolia, private collection. Everything what you see is ours. And this is art of all kind of styles, all kind of pockets. Everybody can find something interesting, realistic, abstraction, whatever you would like to find. I have very good website, which is mongolianartgallery.com, and there you can find everything about every artist I'm representing and also the styles they working on.
So one of the missions of Valiant Art Galleries is to promote and to bring awareness around the world to these wonderful Mongolian artists that you represent.
Exactly. I always hear the information or comments, oh my God, how beautiful, colorful my art is. As you know, Mongolia is very, very far away. This is about 14 hours time difference and also far away to travel. There are no roads, no electricity, no television, and no any communication between artists and other part of the world. And they taking inspiration from nature. So as horses, over 3 million horses in Mongolia. Children which are 2-year-old riding horses, and horses are part of the life, part of the family, and horses is the subject of paintings. I have probably 500 paintings with horses, or maybe more, but I have not only horses. So if you would like, for example, beautiful realistic ladies, or children, or flowers, everything is in my website to see and buy.
Well, you're definitely in the right place for horses. The International Equestrian Festival, a lot of folks that really enjoy the equestrian lifestyle, I know they're going to enjoy this artwork. And we invite you to come down here and meet Elizabeth, check out all these beautiful works from the Valiant Art Gallery. One might just adorn your home or office. We're going to send things back to Gil and Jill.
Well, there's certainly no shortage of things to do here on the floor of the IEF. And let's check in and see what will be going on tomorrow out at the Alltech FEI World Equestrian Games.
As well as the Prevent Feeders International Equestrian Festival presented by HRTV.
Wow, there's just so much going on. I don't know, lots to get to. And I encourage everybody to stick with us for tomorrow's show because we have something special coming from the World Equestrian Games. For HRTV's Victory Lap, I'm Jill Byrne.
And I'm Gil Merrick. Thanks for watching.